Randy and Marisa here on this beautiful Sunday morning, and we are back. Took a couple of weeks off, just did some little simple videos for you guys, but we needed some time. So today I think we have a special video. We're going to talk about why we moved to Italy, what actually brought us here, what it's been like since we've been here over 10 months now, almost a year, and what we're hearing from other people, all of that stuff. Misconceptions about things. So
Misunderstanding.
we're going to apologize up front. We're in our dog pen. We thought this would be nice and shaded because we're in a heat bubble again, and it's really hot outside, and the dogs just want to play all the time. So
Luna, don't knock over the camera.
so yeah, this may be multiple take thing.
Yes.
Anyway, so I took a trip back to the United States recently to visit my kids, my grandkids, and my mom. I was gone for 6 days, kind of a whirlwind thing to go back because it's quite expensive to travel back to the United States. Both my kids live in smaller houses, so they couldn't put me up. My mom lives in a little apartment; she couldn't put me up, so I have to have a hotel room. I have to rent a car. I have to pay for flights. I have to, I'm eating out most of the time.
Summertime prices.
Yeah, summertime. So it was an expensive trip. So I had to minimize it to the 6 days, just there and back. But I've got some footage that I shot there because I went fishing with my son, and I'll show you some of that. And in Florida, there's some really, really cool storms that come in, great big long squall lines, and I've got some video of that too. Both days, my son and I went fishing, Saturday and Sunday. There were squall lines. It was interesting. We were out fishing in it, but the fish don't care that it's raining. But the thing I noticed to start off, so because it's such a long trip for us to go back, and it was just me this time, I went and I stayed at the Hilton Hotel in Fiumicino so I could fly out the next morning. And it was just easier because it's about a 2-hour train ride down, and another half-hour train ride to the airport. So you gotta take the train to Roma Termini, and then take the Leonardo Express to Fiumicino to the airport. And then it's a horrifying bus ride to the Hilton because that guy, I don't know, he was in some kind of hurry. But let me tell you what I noticed after being here for 10 months, living in my zen and my peacefulness and everything. I noticed that Americans are loud, capital L-O-U-D, loud. And I am not. I'm not anymore at the very least. I'm not loud. I was shocked. It really was like a reverse culture shock of, holy mackerel, these are my people. These people are so loud. It was crazy. And I get not every American is loud, but oh my gosh, there were myriads of people from America that were loud. They were complaining to the front desk. I wanted this room. I didn't get this room. I said I had I was bringing my baby. Where's my baby, crib? And I'm like, why are you yelling at the guy? Just say, hey, this is my expectation.
Yeah.
This is what I needed. The other sad thing that I saw at the Hilton there in Fiumicino, they want you to tip for everything. When you're an American coming to Italy or to anywhere in the EU for that matter, do not tip. If you feel the need to tip, leave a euro or two max. Because now they're going to start to implement that here, and it's going to catch on, and it just costs you that much more money. The people that work in these industries in hospitality are paid a living wage. It's not like the United States. They're not paid $3 an hour. They're paid 15 or 18 euros an hour or more. They're paid a living wage. So trust on that.
Well, they get better monthly stipend. That's what
they do, yeah. So
that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works here.
Stipend.
So
you don't get paid by the hour.
We don't tip. You don't tip. You just don't. I don't tip my barber. I don't tip the guy that hauled me back here to the house that gave me passage here. You just don't tip, and it's not being rude. It's just not, it's an American thing. Tipping is an American thing. Do it in America all you want.
Well, but
you know.
at the Hilton, I said this, at the Hilton, because it's at the airport, they expect
They-
foreigners.
they have
and
expected it
so
now, yeah.
They're just going to go with
Yeah.
it.
So it's the new norm there.
yeah.
I just don't want to see it spread because that's
it won't.
one thing I really hate about the United States is that we don't pay our hospitality people a living wage and we're expected to tip. When you go into a restaurant here and you look at the menu, it's going to say Corpetto, €1.50, €2 per person.
person.
That's your tip to the wait staff.
Well,
It goes to cover their
Yeah,
wages
it
and their
covers
all of their stuff. Okay,
It really should cover the utensils, the plates.
that's what it does. It does all that.
Yeah.
And the other thing you see is like you see, okay, this plate of pasta is €12. If you just got the plate of pasta, you're only going to pay €12, no more. €12 plus the corpetto if you sat down. If you stand up and eat it at the counter, you're paying €12. So keep that in mind. I'm kind of ranting about this because it was just stuff. It was stuff that reminded me of why we left the United States in the first place. Some of the reasons why.
Right.
Because it got old. You're nickeled and dimed to death in the United States.
It's gonna get worse.
And it's going to get worse. And you guys think about that. Everywhere you go, nickel and dime. Everywhere you go, there's a price increase. It's crazy. I could not believe how much more expensive it is in the United States now compared to 10 months ago when I was there.
Right.
25, 30% more. It was crazy. I spent so much money. It was crazy.
That
Was not expecting to spend that much at all. Okay. Let's see here. So we had dinner with some friends yesterday. It was a holiday here in Italy, and so everybody had off work. So we have some Italian friends, and they invited us over for a barbecue. And we show up, and he has some of his friends there, some that we hadn't met. We meet them. They were nice, but we're having this conversation, and it starts to go the way that we've seen it go here with Italians and with foreigners and their misconceptions about the United States in particular. So when we first moved here and people would ask, where are you guys from? We'd say we're from Florida. Oh, okay, Bella, it's so beautiful. It's got to be lovely there. And yeah.
Maybe certain areas of Florida,
Right.
not where we were.
Where we were was not really beautiful per se. It was just hot and
But it
hot.
can be beautiful, but the novelty wears off.
It does, real quick.
Real quick. There's just
And
so
if
many
you live in
palm
Florida
trees
and you
wanna
love it
look
there,
at.
good for you. We're not knocking Florida in particular. I lived there
To
for over
each his
20
own.
years. I was done with it. So and that gets us to why we moved here. Okay, we moved here because the cost of living was increasing dramatically. One, and it was just getting too hard to make ends meet. Marisa and I together, when we lived in the States, made high six figures. So we were getting by okay, but we were still struggling. And we could see that people who didn't have that kind of income, like my kids, for example, they're really, really struggling. And it just was one of these things I didn't want to keep working so hard that just to barely keep your head above water.
You're
spinning your
you're a little
wheels, yeah.
hamster, you know.
So
Well, I was in an industry that is declining.
and that was the other
So,
thing. So
yeah, so
she's in an industry that's declining. I've always had plenty of work. I could go work
Right.
anytime I want because therapists are in demand.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the other thing. Her job was kind of thinning out a little bit, and
Yes.
she kind of knew it. We could see the writing on the wall.
yeah.
The hurricanes, and we could debate all day about climate change or whatnot. It's irrelevant.
Right.
The hurricanes, I lived in Florida 22 years. I'm telling you, they got stronger. They got more frequent. There were more of them. They were stronger. It was bad. And our farm got hit by Hurricane Ian and it devastated us. And at that point, I was done. Well,
it mentally devastated me.
absolutely.
I still have PTSD.
She has PTSD. We have a dog, our Luna Bear.
Our
She
German
has
Shepherd,
severe
severe
PTSD.
PTSD.
It so much as clouds up here, and she starts to
Yeah,
get anxious
yeah.
and lose her mind.
Yeah.
So the storms, and if you guys watch our first video when we were moving here, you'll see we were going through another hurricane just to get here.
Yeah. And it was
devastating.
Yeah.
And it devastated north of Florida
10
into
days
Georgia,
after.
North Carolina, Asheville, all of those. There were 2 hurricanes
Yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
Just
10 days apart.
completely devastating.
Yeah.
If you go through one, you're like, okay, I can go through one, but that was like my 18th or 19th
Yeah.
one. So I was done at
We
that.
were
You know,
done.
I was done. I really was.
The other thing I want to just add in is I couldn't afford health insurance.
Right.
And here, as an Italian citizen, I have health insurance. I mean, I'm covered. It's socialized health and healthcare, and
Yeah.
I'm covered.
For everything.
If I go to a hospital, I'm not going to be worried about what kind of a bill am I going to get and how much money is it going to cost.
Yeah.
And I'm getting up to an age, so I wanted to make sure
happens.
that
Yeah.
I was in a place where if something did happen, because you never know, I would be able to go to doctors and not worry about how much money I was spending. And this was important to me. And, you know, I'm healthy, but you never know. You know, you get up in age and stuff starts to happen. So,
And if you, I did a video 2 weeks ago about that, about socialized healthcare versus the United States healthcare versus socialized healthcare in the United States versus being a provider
Right.
taking that type of healthcare, and why it's such a badly broken system. And it is too. I've been in all parts of it. It's badly broken. And I think most people would agree. If you're spending $400 or $500 or $600 a month or more on premiums, and then you have to drop another $200 or $300 or $400 on copays, what's the benefit?
Yeah,
You know,
no.
yeah, I don't get hit with a $10,000 bill. I get hit with a $1,500 bill.
For example,
Yeah,
I'm
so-
going for a full panel blood work, everything, top to bottom. I think it was 60 euros because
Yeah.
I don't have any preconditions. Okay. You have some preconditions, so yours was like 5 euros or 10 euros, whatever. So anyway, it's not as expensive. Private doctors are not that expensive. A private visit is not that expensive. So it's doable. A specialist. But anyway, the couple, the gentleman, that friend of our friends, he had a completely distorted vision of what life in the United States is. His argument was that it's better in the United States.
Yeah.
Certain things, I'm sure, are better in the United States.
Maybe.
Like the bureaucracy, it's a little bit faster.
A little easier.
Things get are more automated in internet and computers. You can do stuff online. You don't have to show up to every freaking office every day. That I agree with.
Yeah, some things, but he had an almost utopian viewpoint of the United States, and it was funny because every time we would tell him that wasn't true, you're wrong. Like, you're wrong. Like, I grew up there, man. I lived there most of my life, so I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no.
I was involved,
Well,
but but it's funny how that's ingrained in an Italian mindset in particular, that the United States is all that.
Well, he's lived all his life here in Italy, and he has a business. So his life is probably very, how can I say this in a nice way? He's oppressed by the taxation system here in Italy. You know, it is kind of onerous. It is a little heavy. It's a little convoluted. So I get that. And when you're in it all your life, this is your business, this is your livelihood, you get tired of it. But that doesn't mean that somewhere else you're not going to end up having the same issues. I think they think the grass is always greener on the other side until they get to the other side, and then it starts, you know, burning. So he kept asking us, well, where would you move? Where would you move? We're here.
We moved here. I told him this is a gem, Gioia. It's a gem.
So 10 years from now, the way we are, our conditions, our health, whatever might lead us to move somewhere else, maybe back to the States. Who knows?
I doubt it, but who knows?
But right now, at this juncture of our lives,
We're here.
At our age, after
Yeah.
we worked 40 plus years,
Yep.
we are ready to just take a beat.
Yep.
Just for a second, reset the button, and see where this takes us.
Yep.
Yes, there's issues here in Italy. He has language issues. I have, I want to work, so I want to find something that's makes me happy. So there's issues, but
Yeah.
they're not as
They're not. Yeah.
exorbitant as they were in the States.
No.
I was unhappy. I couldn't get out of the house because it was too hot. I couldn't take walks. It was very hard to find cultural things to do, places to visit.
Where we
that
lived,
were
yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
States. I guess if we lived in another state, it probably would have
Well,
been different.
if we lived up in Sarasota or Tampa or Jacksonville or one of the Miami
Right,
or
or
whatever
even
the
the
bigger cities,
Carolinas or
it would have been
whatever,
different. But we lived in the
maybe.
country in Southwest Florida, and and when we say hot, it's over 100 degrees most of the year.
Yeah.
It's high humidity. It's unbearable. You have to go do everything early in the morning or late in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Late in the evening, you have to fight off the mosquitoes, the no-see-ums,
no-see-ums.
all of that, and it's not a pleasant life, to say the least. And
Certainly, if you live
yeah.
on the water and you're a boater
Right.
and all of
Yeah,
that,
no,
that's
it's-
perfect.
it's
That's
lovely.
A boating,
Yeah.
It's a boating community.
It is to an extent, because
Yeah.
we had that house. We had a house on a sailboat canal that led right out to the harbor, and it was great. It was a beautiful house. I could fish off the dock. It was great. Take the boat out, go out. The problem is the insurance for having that house.
Yeah, because of the flood
Because of the
zones
flood
and all
zone,
that.
because all that, you're
Yeah.
spending $8,000-$10,000 a year
And-
on insurance,
and every
just
time
on
there's a
insurance,
hurricane,
and it goes up.
It
Yeah.
keeps going up.
And our seawall was failing, and we were quoted $75,000 to replace the seawall, and we were like, "No, we're gonna
No,
sell."
we just sold it and made a profit and moved
We did,
on. But
yeah.
that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you do. So, again, teach their own. We're not telling anybody what they should or shouldn't
No.
do. We're just giving you our viewpoint.
Yeah,
What?
but it was-
why we moved here.
It was quite interesting to see how adamant this person was
Adamant.
about
Yeah.
how we live in the States.
Yeah.
Like he's never lived in the States. So he's getting all this information from movies, TVs,
yeah.
documentaries, the media. He kept saying the media. Well, yeah, I mean, that's fine too, but you have to really be in it to
Yeah.
really understand it.
Yeah, no, first time he had to go to the emergency room and he got
would
that bill,
figure
he'd be
out,
like,
yeah,
"What?
yeah.
I'm going back to Italy."
Well, his argument was that here in
Yeah.
Italy, you work, and most of your money goes to taxes. Yes, most of the money goes to taxes.
That's
but,
not really accurate either.
But you get in return,
it's-
you get in return a lot more because
it depends on what you make. So there's not, and I don't know all the tax structure, but it's a tiered income tax structure, just like we have in the United States. I think it goes higher. I think you could pay up to 55% of your income in taxes, but it's if you make over if you make over so many million euros, the government's going to take half of that. Okay,
Right.
but if you're a working class person, it's 22%. It's 10%, it's 7%,
it
depending on
depends.
where you
Depends
live
on-
in the country, as well. When you go to buy something, you pay an EVA on it, a VAT. It's a sales tax.
Well,
it's
it's
the
a sales tax
same
we
thing you
have,
pay in the United
yeah.
States. It's a little higher here, granted. Yeah, it can be up to 22%, but
the government also offers a lot of incentives.
a lot, yeah.
Like if you want to improve your house, there's incentives. If you're going to make
Yeah.
your house more energy efficient, there's incentives. If you buy energy efficient appliances, when you go do your taxes, you present the receipts.
Yeah.
It's incentives. So
yeah.
there's a lot of subsidies that the
Yeah.
government does give.
Quit.
And so, sorry, the dog just wants to play. He is
Border collie,
just
nonstop energy.
Nonstop
But
energy.
these people that complain, just like this guy, that complain about the taxes here, these are the same people that own a vacation home here. So they'll have their house here. They'll have their house on the beach or in the water or in the
Right.
mountains.
Oh, he said he had a couple apartments he was renting.
Yeah.
So
Cry me a river because I've got 2 or 3 or
Yeah.
4 or 5 houses and I got to pay taxes on them. I'm sorry, you get no sympathy from me on
no,
that.
No.
This is a great place to live. It's a gem, straight up. Right here in Umbria, right where we are, this is a gem.
Well, this is slow living.
It's very
and
slow.
This is what we
Yeah,
wanted.
yeah,
We wanted
and-
slow
yeah.
living. We didn't want to
Yeah.
be rushed. We
No.
were talking about this yesterday. We needed to go get the dishwasher.
Yeah, we ordered
and
a
I said,
dishwasher.
do you want to take the fast route or the slow route? And we said, let's take the slow route. It was like 10 minutes longer, but it was a curvy road
Yeah.
and countryside.
Go
and
a little
so
slower.
We just do that.
You got great views.
This is what this was all about.
Yeah. Try not to meet a bad Italian driver head
Right.
on.
Well, we did a couple of
a couple
times.
times. That's all.
That's the only drawback there. Yeah.
Fun stuff. So the other thing that happened when I came back to the United States, so I have applied for what's called a permesso de soggiorno, right? And what that does is basically my green card, my residence card, that allows me to live and work in the country. Once you apply for it, you're given an appointment to go get sneezed on in the face. You're given an appointment to go get the application processed, right? We did that back in May of this year. And then you're just waiting on your background check and your card, basically. So I got fingerprinted, they do the background check. I just need them to let me know, hey, your card is ready to go. In the meantime, if you need to travel outside of the country, what the law says is that you have to leave from Italy and have a direct flight back to your home country that has to be outside the Schengen zone, in my case. If you're in the Schengen zone, it wouldn't apply to you anyway.
Right.
So, but you cannot traverse through the Schengen zone, okay, which are the other EU countries. So you have to take a flight from Rome to New York, for example.
Direct.
Right, direct. You can't go Rome to Dublin. You can go to London, to Dublin, to New York. You can't. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. So I booked Rome to Atlanta because my kids are in the South, and Atlanta back to Rome. I had my receipt for the permesso that we'd finished, the one that when we'd got through, and so it showed I'd been
just
through the
waiting for it
process.
to-
I had a copy of the web page that showed that my permesso is processing. I have my residence, my tessera for residence for Castiglione del Lago. It shows I'm a resident here, right? So I had all those things, and my passport. My passport has a damaged RFID in it. It will not scan anymore. I carried it around in my pocket here for the first 6 months. I think I killed it. So I had to go through manual on the way out, manual passport control. I had to go through manual passport control coming back in. So I get back in, stuck in manual passport control. I go up to the girl that's there. I hand her my passport. I don't say anything. The guy next to her, for whatever reason, says to me, "Where's your return ticket?" I didn't say anything. I had not said a word. Buongiorno. She tells me she's not Italian. Don't speak Italian to her. I said, okay. And he says, out of the blue, "Where's your return ticket?" I said, "I live here." And that started about 5 minutes of terror for me. Every piece of paper I handed him, he shook his head, no. Like he wasn't gonna let me back in the country. And I finally had to tell him in Italian that my wife is Italian citizen. And then he told the girl to stamp my passport. So the bureaucracy can be unnerving,
because because it is so convoluted. The right hand never knows what the left hand is doing. And so you could have gone to the guy next to him.
Right, and we would have stamped it and have been that.
So it's very it's because they change the norms, the rules every 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's constant.
And so it's really nerve-wracking.
So that's one of the downsides to here. Had she been with me, it wouldn't have been a problem.
No.
She told the guy to go get bent, and that'd have been that. So, but it wouldn't have been a problem. And if you have an EU spouse, you can go to the Shingen Zone with your spouse, even without your permesso di soggiorno.
Right.
So the rules are kind of odd. You just have to know them.
Right.
And I knew I had a right to be back here again, and I would have eventually gotten out, Google Translate and said, I want to
Yeah.
speak to your supervisor. You're going to stamp my passport because I'm
We
I'm
would've
going to
called
see
a
my
lawyer,
I'm going to see my
or
wife
you
and my
would've
dogs.
called me,
Yeah.
and I would have talked to him on the phone.
So anyway, it's just there's some of the things that are the negatives here.
Well,
That
honestly,
can be.
all they should have done is check your codice fiscale.
Right, right.
And if
Yeah.
you had given him my codice fiscale,
Yeah.
you would have seen that
Yeah.
we're both.
Yeah,
So
but it didn't
residents
come
here.
to that.
Yeah.
And I do. I have a Codice Fiscale. I have a Tessera Sanitaria. I have a residence card. I have all
I
of
was
that
like,
stuff.
bring your marriage
So,
license,
yeah.
bring the copy.
I didn't
of
want to
the-
haul all
of
that.
the
I was like, I
house-
shouldn't need
of
to.
the house contract with your
Yeah.
name on.
I honestly thought that my Tessera for residency would be
The
enough.
tessera sanitaria.
And the Tessera for the residents.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because the commune here had all that stuff. She
Yeah.
looked through all of it before she gave me the residence.
Yeah.
So then she says, like, yeah, you're an official resident of the commune now, of Castiglione.
yeah.
Okay, because she went through and looked at our marriage
Yeah.
license, looked at my permesso application. She looked at all that. Okay,
I
boom.
gave her the contract, the
Yeah.
house contract.
That we own a
the
house,
deed,
all of that. So
all of that.
anyway,
So
fun stuff. So, all right.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
think.
Sorry that this video may be a little bit rambling on. I just want to kind of give you guys an idea of what we went through. I'm going to show you some videos and pictures and stuff of my travels, of what Marisa kind of went through when she was here.
Oh, it was so long with 3
Yeah,
dogs.
it is. It's a lot.
And I was working. Good morning, everyone. I just went into our little orchard and picked some of our bounty. These are the grapes off of our vine that we have, that Randy meticulously rescued. And these are kind of sweet. These are my neighbors. She asked me to pick some. They're over the fence on our side of the property. And they're kind of small. They look like they would be more for wine. But she says she's been eating them and they're sweet and they're good. I think we should just maybe dried them, sun-dried them, make raisins out of them. This is a beautiful tomato I just picked. It's ready to go, so guess who's having caprese salad today for lunch? And here are some of our cherry tomatoes that are overgrowing. So I indiscriminately picked them, even if there's some green ones on it, but they're ready to get eaten. They're so super sweet. I haven't even touched the fruit trees. We got apples and pears. There's some figs growing, but they're not ready yet, so I'm looking forward to those. The plums are gone, unfortunately. Those were delicious. Anyway, that's it. This is our little bounty from our garden. So it's about 95 degrees outside at 5 p.m. August 11th. It is a hot one. There's a little bit of a breeze today, but the last few days have been incredibly warm. Everything is dry, especially in the morning. There's no wind, no breeze. I take the dogs out a couple of times a day. We are out about 10 minutes only because it does get pretty hot for them. But they need to do their little things, their little duties, and then we play a little bit, but it does get exhausting for them, so we are trying to pace ourselves. Percy's not happy. He wants to go back inside. We're going to go soon.
But he was telling me he's catching big reds over 30 inches in these deep holes that were out there.
Yeah, you get a dolphin there, you can't keep fishing there. Anything they catch, the dolphin's gonna eat.
Chasing some mullet in the backcountry area. They hit a mullet so hard it launched it about 50 feet. Super cool. Oh shit. Damn, we could just start here. I couldn't imagine like what it's like to hook into one that big.
That's a big redfish. Yeah, that's a massive redfish. And I was exceptionally happy to be back because it's such a long trip. The trip over, I was up for 25 hours straight.
Yeah, it's a lot.
By the time I got up, I got everything going. It was crazy. I don't sleep real well without her. For you guys that's been married a long time, you know it's really hard to sleep by yourself. And then I get to the States and it's a 6-hour time difference. They're behind.
Yeah. I think next time we break it up.
Next time we definitely break it up. We go together, we break it up. But
A couple of days here,
yeah.
a couple of days there, and we.
coming back, I slept a little bit on the plane, and I got to show you guys the pictures of the plane. It was crazy empty. I was surprised. I guess because the dollar is so bad, or I don't know why. It's weird.
The dollar's bad.
that-
It's too expensive to travel.
That
to
plane,
Europe.
I had not been on an international flight that was that empty before. That's crazy. It was crazy. I'm in a premium select on Delta.
You could've spread
I
out.
don't have anybody next to me. There's one girl in the middle row of the 4 seats. There were 2 girls on the other side of the plane. Then the seats behind are empty.
Yeah.
And I had 2 little old ladies behind me. One of their first time to Italy, so I was trying to be nice to them and, encourage them. You guys have fun, it'll be great. They were going on a cruise, so.
Okay.
But anyway, but it was interesting, and I got back home because it's we hired a driver to bring me back instead of me trying to drag my tired butt up a train
couple
and
of trains.
getting back with all my luggage and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I slept that afternoon like 3 hours, and then I went to bed that night and I slept 11 hours. So it's an exhausting trip for this old guy, for sure, to say the least. So I told my kids, I said, next time we go,
Next time they come.
next time they can come, and then when we go back, we're gonna split it up. We'll fly to London, stay in London a couple
Yeah, 'cause
days.
it's a shorter flight from London
or
to New York.
fly to Reykjavik or wherever we're gonna go.
It's a shorter
Yeah,
flight
so,
from London to New York. We do that.
yeah, so it's a lot shorter
we do
flight.
that.
Anyway, all right. Next week we're gonna go do some stuff.
Yeah, we should.
We're gonna get you
His
some
birthday
good
this week, so-
footage. We got a dishwasher coming in. I'm gonna finish putting together the downstairs kitchen. I've got a new RO system coming in. I'm gonna put that in. I'll get that on film. I bought a beer making kit. I'm gonna start making beer just because I need something to do because I'm bored a little bit. It's hot. I can make beer in the house. It's not too bad. So I ordered some stuff and I got to get some more stuff.
And again, we're hoping to get started on the work.
We are, yeah.
I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we were supposed to. We're waiting. It's August here is vacation time for Italians. So we're waiting to see if we get some guys that come back this next week tomorrow,
Yeah,
and we
I'm gonna
can
email everybody tomorrow.
see if we can get started on our downstairs bathroom at the very least.
Yeah,
So
we need to.
yeah. All right, like and subscribe. Shout out to all our new subscribers. hang in there. These are going to get better. We're going to have more footage. I promise it's coming. All right. All right. Take care.
Ciao.
Ciao.